Everyone, welcome back to another review, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Sengoku Oni, which is the recent yo-yo from Sengoku Yo-Yos, and it's a sort of different design with a new take on the bimetal, with the rims being on the literal face of the yo-yo. And I'm just going to be going over the different specifics of the yo-yo, so I hope you guys enjoy. And as always with these types of reviews, I'm going to be going over 5 different aspects of the yo-yo, and they're going to be history, construction, trick handling, playability, and my overall opinions on the yo-yo, so I hope you guys enjoy. Starting off with the history section of the review. So as you can see, the Oni has the bimetal rings on the face of the yo-yo, and this is sort of a new design that's been in the works for about 2 years. We went through a lot of prototypes just trying to perfect the rim weight and the design of the yo-yo, and he went through countless different body shapes and countless different machining techniques just to sort of get it right. If you guys remember, there was a prototype that emerged I think about 1.5 years ago with a V-shaped yo-yo that has this same design with the bimetal rim literally on the face of the yo-yo. I think Julio actually sold that to a few people just to get a few opinions out there and just to sort of show people what a new design might look like. And the Oni is pretty much the final incarnation of what Julio wanted in a all competition bimetal yo-yo that pretty much takes full advantage of the bimetal design. Okay, so now moving on to the construction section of the review, and in this section I'm just going to go over a few specifications of the Oni, just get an overall up close and personal look of the Oni and how the design looks and everything. You can see the Oni has a unique bimetal design with the rims being on the literal face of the yo-yo, and it also recedes a little bit inside of the cup, as you can see. And it's just a really thin sheet of metal right here on the edge of the yo-yo. It's not supposed to be an outer ring bimetal, as some may assume, but it's really supposed to be a unique shape with the bimetal literally on the face of the yo-yo and receding a little bit inwards to the cup area. And as you can see, the shape of the Oni is pretty unique too. Some may believe that it has a very dense sort of rock play nature to it, but that couldn't be any further from the truth. The Oni has a very nimble, a very lightweight play to it, and it kind of just reflects a lot of other Sengoku yo-yos in the past, since it does have those two particular play natures in mind. And as you can see, it has a step right here at the rim, and another step here, and another step right here where the response happens, right about right here in the middle of the yo-yo. It's a really minimalistic engraving right here. It just says Sengoku. It doesn't say, what the model name is or anything like that. Again, I really like this simple aesthetic that Sengoku is going for in their engravings. It just has a really clean looking design to it, and I think that this is one of the cleanest designs that Sengoku has came up with to date. Now, time to go over the specifications of the yo-yo. Diameter is 55.57 millimeters. The width is 43.09 millimeters. The gap width is 4.31 millimeters. The weight is 64.8 grams. The Oni comes stock with a center track bearing, and the response, of course, is a Sengoku's very own katana pads, 19 millimeters. I'm just going to compare the Oni with a few different yo-yos that has a similar size and weight and specs in it, so you guys can sort of get a better understanding of how the Oni works. Shuto pretty much has exact same diameter and specs as a shutter would, and as well as similar to a shutter Y-angle. So if you guys have one at home, then you could sort of just kind of compare, how the Oni would probably feel in real life. So as you can see, the diameter is just a little bit wider on the Shuto. And in terms of width, the widths are almost exactly the same, as you can see. Or actually, the Shuto is just a little bit wider. I'd say maybe about 0.5 millimeter or so. And then now, here is an edge. I know that a lot of people have an edge. So the diameters I found to be almost exactly identical again, with the, I would say maybe the edge is a little bit bigger, or maybe the Oni, I'm not quite too sure, but they're almost exactly identical. And of course the widths, they're nowhere near each other. The edge is just, a lot wider. And now here is a yo-yo recreation Draupnir. So of course the diameter is really not even the same. The Draupnir is just a little bit wider in diameter. It's a lot bigger. with it being 57 millimeters, and the widths are almost pretty much exactly the same. Alright, so now moving on to the trick handling section of the review, and in this section I'm just going to be going over a few different aspects, a few different categories of tricks that I think that the Oni can handle well, and such as speed, horizontal, technical tricks, and things of that nature. But now starting on how the Oni handles with speed. So the Oni has a very nimble, floaty, and very light nature to it. The Oni being an extremely nimble and stable yo-yo, it pretty much has no problem matching any speed that you throw at it, no matter how extreme. And I find that the overall shape and nimbleness of the yo-yo just kind of helps with rail combos and faster type maneuvers and tricks. I find that the shape is also pretty flared out, which makes the overall catchability of the yo-yo really good. On to how the Oni handles with technical type of tricks. As I stated before, the Oni is a very light and nimble yo-yo, and it has a nature to it to where it can just go around different technical mounts and different maneuvers really quickly and with ease, meaning that the Oni is pretty easy to control and is really easy to point exactly where you want it to be on the string. As I mentioned, the shape I found lends itself to being very catchable, being able to handle very well and not tilt itself on the axis, and that's also due to how extreme the weight is on the rims because of the bimetal design. And that kind of just lends itself to being a very stable but yet nimble and lightweight yo-yo, which I think is something that a lot of people look for in competition yo-yos, or really just for recreational play. But of course, with the yo-yo not tilting on the axis, it all really just depends on your skill level and how well you're able to control the yo-yo between different technical mounts. And on to grinds. The Oni has a really good sandblasting finish on the body as well as inside the cup. So you can do all sorts of different finger grinds, you can do thumb grinds, even though the rim is sort of in the cup of the yo-yo, you can still pull it off. I managed to be able to do that. And the inner hub design, the cup is pretty flat with a sharp receding area right here, which lends itself to doing pretty much perfect finger spins. Even though there is an engraving in the middle, I found that it pretty much has nothing to do with how well you're able to do finger spins. And it doesn't impede that in any way. Moving on to horizontal. So, as I previously stated before, again, the shape is pretty catchable, and because of the overall nimbleness and the extreme weight on the rims, which lends itself to being really stable, I found that horizontals can be executed relatively easily. It has a pretty beefy rims, and for some people that can be a little awkward when doing horizontal because it's just, you know, I guess for me anyways, a little weird, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty negligible, you know, depending on the person. Me in particular, I don't mind it too much, but the beefy rims can sometimes impede a few people when doing horizontal, or really any type of trick because of, you know, again, the unique shape. But overall, I found that the extreme rim weight just kind of adds to the easeability of pulling out horizontal and really any other off-axis type of tricks. Now moving on to the playability section of the review. So the Oni is a design that's really mainly meant for 3A and 5A in mind. That's what I believe that the design was kind of more catered towards, but it can also be for 1A as well. And I say that it's meant really more towards 3A and 5As because those type of styles really need stable yo-yos that can handle, you know, all these sorts of abuse and a lot of the different elements that those different styles demand. The Oni has a pretty huge emphasis on rim weight for maximum stability and spin time, and it has a really medium size and diameter for technical wraps and mounts. The small gap size, it kind of lends itself more towards tighter binds and for stronger throws, and for 5A, you know, it's especially needed for 3A because 3A players usually use shorter string, and a shorter string needs a smaller gap width and you know, stronger throws as well. For all-around type of yo-yo, as you know, I would say with a lot of different yo-yos that Sengoku comes out with, or really a lot of other yo-yos in the market. But I feel that the Oni is more catered towards that. It's more catered towards that 3A and 5A type of style. But of course, it's perfectly fine for 1A. Since I'm mainly a 1A player. I don't really do 3A or 5A as much anymore, but I find that this yo-yo kind of suits those styles a little bit more. But I wouldn't say you should be discouraged because of that. I would say that it works perfectly fine, even excels at 1A because of the stability and, you know, the spin time that lends itself. Describe how the Oni feels on the string. It has a very nimble yet lightweight play to it, and I say that for pretty much every other Sengoku yo-yo. Sengoku sort of has that light nimbleness but really stable play nature in all of its yo-yos, and that's even more so carried through to the Oni, but I feel that those characteristics and previous Sengoku yo-yos are more emphasized with this yo-yo because of the rim weight and the weight distribution. It's really stable because of that, and the shape, it's really technical for technical type of tricks, and it's really nimble for fast horizontal type of tricks. So you sort of see why I say it's more of an all-around type of yo-yo, and it can handle a lot of different sorts of tricks. Now moving on to my personal opinions of the review. So I'd say that the Oni is honestly one of the best yo-yos that Sengoku has made to date. It really just, me personally, it really just resonates with my style, and it really just adapts to a lot of the different type of tricks that I do. And I say that because of the shape. I really like the shape in the way that it feels in my hand, and I really like the play in which it's really stable and maneuverable, so it can handle a lot of different type of tricks that I do, and it can really handle, when I'm ever trick making, the extra stability and spin time just really comes in handy. It might seem negligible to different people, but for me in particular, that's something that I really look forward to in a yo-yo. Oni is unanimously the best performing yo-yo for competition regarding the team. I see a lot of the team members on Sengoku use the Oni for competition and for recreational play. And also heard that Julio told me that a lot of feedback from Japan Nationals that happened a couple of months ago, when people tried this yo-yo, a lot of people say that, oh, it's the best yo-yo ever coming out from Sengoku, this and that, the design. Take that statement or leave it, or see it for what it is, but it's really impressive just to hear, those comments coming from Japanese players in particular, because they play with a lot of certain different type of yo-yos, like from Yo Recreation, Turning Point something. They play with a lot of those yo-yos, and to see a lot of good feedback coming from those different types of players to the Oni, it's just really impressive to see. I really like the unique shape that comes with the Oni. It's something that I wasn't quite expecting what Julio would make the Oni to be. I thought it was just going to be a straight V shape or some sort of variation of that, like a lot of other Sengoku yo-yos, but he decided to go a different route, and this shape I believe really takes advantage of this sort of unique design. Now I really don't have any particular negatives, but I would say it's just nitpicks towards the yo-yo. The gap width is a little bit too small. I found that, when I first got it, playing with it and stuff, it would snag midway through combo, or it would, snag pretty often, or snap back in my knuckles pretty often. And I also found that, sometimes it can feel a little weird with the string rubbing against response, because the gap width is a little bit narrower than what I'm used to. But really that really just depends on what kind of player you are. But as I play with it more and more, I've assessed the response a little bit more, and I've gotten used to it. So right now, it's pretty much no problem for me, and the string doesn't snag on me anymore, or it's really just to say as much anymore. But I believe that pretty much any yo-yo is going to snag, right? Like, this is yo-yoing. You should expect stuff like this to happen to you. I believe that if you expect certain things from different yo-yos, you might be a little bit disappointed in the end. So I would say, to see each and every yo-yo as it is, and maybe try it out, and you might be surprised. And of course, like, this is yo-yoing, things can happen like this, it's unpredictable in its nature. I found that the power or the torque of the yo-yo that's generated by the Oni spin can sometimes be a little bit too powerful, a little bit too much when doing certain maneuvers. Snap back at me, and it would kind of hurt a little bit, But again, stuff like that doesn't really happen to me anymore, because I play with the Oni a lot, pretty much every single day, just practicing my routines and making new tricks, and just overall playing with it. With a lot of new yo-yos, you want to play with it and kind of just break it in, basically, right? And that's pretty much what I did with the Oni, and it progressively got better and better the more I broke it in. I'm just pretty much used to expect these type of things from certain yo-yos, or really just any other yo-yo. Of course, a lot of stuff like this is just unavoidable in the end. Hey everyone, so that was my review for the Oni. I hope you guys enjoyed the different sections and everything, and I hope you guys enjoyed just overall how I explained everything. As always, there are going to be more reviews coming in the future, and I have a few interesting yo-yos that I'm going to try to review and put out for you guys, and as well as more tutorials, and just frankly more videos and stuff like that overall. If you guys have any video suggestions or ideas, then don't be afraid to post them in the comment sections down below. And if you have any questions about the Oni, or anything regarding my sponsor Sengoku Yo-Yos, then of course just post them in the comment sections down below, and I'll be sure to get to you as soon as I can. If you guys want to follow me every day and see what I'm up to, you guys can follow my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts in the description down below. I'm more active on Instagram, however. I really do think that the Oni is probably my favorite yo-yo coming out of Sengoku right now. It just, again, really resonates with me and my style and stuff like that. I'll post a few places where you guys can buy it in the description down below, such as Yo-Yo Expert Rewind, Sengoku's online retailer shop. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell button so you guys can be notified of any uploads that I come up with. And don't forget to follow me on any of my social media accounts down below, and I'll be sure to keep you guys updated from there on. So yeah, hope you guys have a nice day or night wherever you're from. Later, everyone.